Thursday, January 19th, the Dream Team is here. Ken Laird.
Chris Curtis.
And a special guest appearance today. How about Jon Meterparel, 72 degrees and all.
Indoors, 72 degrees.
The return debut edition of Jon Meterparel.
BC Hoops is what, once a week, twice a week sometimes?
Yeah, but Jerry, the road kills you, man.
Well, how about Meter trying to pull this bullshit that he only called off once?
I mean,
how many times in a row has Meter blown this off, Curtis?
I think
That
it
would
was
be one.
Three
Wait a minute.
straight.
3 straight.
Don't lie.
3 straight,
One.
Jerry.
I know he's not listening to this. I mean, Trenny Meterparel was in today. Had no fucking clue about half this stuff. Didn't know about anything about having to do with the show lately.
Yeah, that was pretty bloody obvious that Meter hadn't been paying attention. It's not been a P1
So what's he listening to when he takes his 17-year-old kids to school?
So I have to take my kids to
I
school.
gotta walk my
Your
kids on the bus.
kids are like in college now, and you say,
How old are your kids?
They're 11 and 8.
You can't put an 11-year-old on the bus?
Ben has some issues with the bus. Doesn't like it.
Since Ben doesn't like the bus.
All that being said, there is something old shoeish about Meter. He's got a good instant chemistry with the guys. I liked the show today. It did get very sporty. We had football segments. Jerry was breaking down Sam Monson and PFF.
Want me to read Sam Monson again?
No, that was torturous enough the first time.
Sam Monson was sitting in his apartment in Dublin breaking down film, but he does a good job.
The biggest liabilities for each conference champion team.
Woo.
Names the biggest weaknesses of the final 4 teams.
Mm-hmm. West Durham drops left and right.
Oh, man. When that West Durham interview was going on, I was in my car, and it was the most helpless I've ever felt. Because I knew Jerry and Kirk were already critical of how those shows had gone. And it was endless. That fucking
Meter
thing,
said 10 minutes.
It was 17 and a half, Meter. I looked at it.
Let's call West Durham the voice of the Atlanta Falcons. He could tell us.
Let's pump the brakes.
What
Jesus,
did he tell you that was interesting?
10 minutes with the voice of the Falcons, who is, by the way, very topical.
First of all,
10 minutes?
10 minutes?
Yes,
Meter?
it was 10.
Meter, I was in the car for 20 minutes.
It was 10.
Another lie. And I'm just sitting there like, just end this. Just end this. And he's getting into, like, Matt Ryan's, daily routine.
The depth of the football team, particularly on the offensive side, has really been expanded.
In this southern drawl.
Hey, Matt Ryan is the MVP. We had it first on December 28th.
That we did.
Anyway, Meter was fine today. He lingers like he's the opposite of Trenny, though, after the show, man. Meter hangs around for half an hour in the back room, telling old war stories. Kirk doesn't seem to get too upset.
Kirk likes Meter.
Yeah.
But today in the office, we're shooting the breeze. We already have Captain Zarbano in there.
He doesn't come to the office every day.
Everybody's on their best behavior, so to speak.
Right.
And Meter's just sort of hanging in the back of our office. And he passed that point where I think it was time to walk out by about 5 minutes.
He did give Kirk a pair of shoes.
He did, but then he was at the door to leave, and he was lingering at the door.
Yeah.
And then he was requesting that Minahan put a good word in for him at some other places and was sort of talking to me about when he was back in.
He's a long goodbyer. He's very clutchy and grabby. I love Meter. He's my
hates
radio role
goodbyes.
model. Yeah, he doesn't like goodbyes.
Long time coming, Pete.
That is something you really do appreciate with Trenny, is that in and out.
All right, we're back. Curtis and I just had about a 3-hour meeting. How would you describe that meeting we just had? Strategic planning meeting?
Well, on the eve of the inauguration, D.C. is planning for unprecedented acts.
Yes.
We were just planning for the
Jerry's funeral?
Jerry's funeral. We were going over the numbers. And I got to say, if I can pull the skirt up a little bit.
Ooh, don't do that.
To all those asshats who were calling me yesterday afternoon saying, fucking Reamer, he sucks. Don't think he's going away. People like the Ream.
The Next Level Analytics.
Next Level Analytics.
Speak highly of Reamer and his previous appearances on the show.
Well, Rob Bradford is a big fan of war.
This was a war award.
We were going through the radio war stats and analytics, and the Ream job.
B war or F war?
This is F war. We're at fucking war. And the Ream job came through with flying colors.
It's not the worst thing that ever happened.
Well, let's be honest. Kirk and Callahan is just rolling right now. The show is a monster.
I've been here for a while. Well, with a little break.
Yep.
I've been in radio a while. This show is on fire.
Kerosene on the fire.
You and Sausage were rolling at points.
We were rolling, but not in the way you want to be rolling.
Actually, you shouldn't say that. Last year, when I took over the specter of, you guys did like a 14 or something during Deflategate's madness last fall. There was a month or two there.
There are certain times when, like, a great movie, for whatever reason, doesn't hit in the box office, or a shitty movie does, or gets rave reviews, it's overrated, whatever. Right now is the best combination of excellent content and unbelievable ratings.
Tap dancing with the best of them.
People are listening to a great product. It doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes certain shows are just sandwiched with other very powerful shows.
Yeah.
Certain times they have a good lead-in and they're helped. What this morning show is doing is unprecedented in terms of its quality of radio and the ratings it's getting.
Well, we do have a great lead-in. We shouldn't diminish the Amani Toomer factor.
Toomer, who gets yours?
Mine goes to one of the people of the day.
I got to be honest. I drive in the morning. I am smarter. People listen to some podcasts to get smarter.
Make me smarter here.
I listen to Amani Toomer, and I get smarter.
Which person of the day are you going to call out today, Toomer?
Oh, I just had it on the top of my tongue. Okay, go ahead, Sean.
You could also go in the other station, Brand X, and get Amy Lawrence.
She sucks. She's so bad. I produced her show for a couple weeks at ESPN. She's the most ill-prepared.
Uh-oh.
I've never been more ill-prepared.
Boring.
Snooze Fest, Snoozapalooza, paging Dr. Snooze.
Edgeless.
Whoa.
Talk show
Ease
host.
off the accelerator.
Can we ease off the accelerator?
No, she sucks.
You're
She's,
lighting her up.
she's tweeting at the station like, I grew up listening to you guys, and how dare you tweet out that who is the hottest girlfriend?
Misogynistic.
Misogynistic and is degrading to women.
Get a life.
All right, back to today's show. This Thursday extravaganza. Jerry's last day. It was a Friday for Jerry. He is heading to the inauguration. Kirk has predicted he will be assassinated in some form or fashion. CNN's predicting the entire cabinet is going to get out of
Had you heard that before this morning?
No, that was great stuff. Kurt Schilling tipped us off to that.
Oh, man. I was rolling in it. I checked it twice to make sure it wasn't like a Funny or Die or a spoof.
It was hilarious.
Questions remain about just who would be in charge if an attack hit the incoming president, vice president, and congressional leaders just as the transfer of power is underway.
Unbelievable. That was a CNN news report.
According to the Constitution, if the president and vice president are killed or incapacitated, next in line is the House Speaker.
That was after Schilling, who joined us about 8:15. Alex Reamer's in the building now. We were just chatting with him. He just posted some Schilling stuff. His contention is Schilling talk has kind of lost its juice, even though he just wrote about it. I thought Schilling was pretty good today, but we did a lot of Hall of Fame talk, and I got to kind of agree with Alex. We've done so much of it the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's already jumped the shark.
Well, the Hall of Fame talk would have had more legs if these cowards who wrote about Schilling had the balls to come on and talk about it. Like I tried again yesterday. I told Jerry and Kirk, I tried for the Harringtons, the Jaffes, the Haymans, the Shaughnessy's, everybody again today. They all still declined.
Yeah.
That would have furthered the story and been good. I think the issue with Schilling, and the interview was good today. He was energetic. It wasn't too long. And Jerry's from 6 to midnight the whole time.
I have an erection right now.
There's not a personal connection with Kurt Schilling here, like there is with most superstars.
Which is surprising based on how important that 04 title was.
If you had told me in October of 2004, after they won it all,
And the Boston Red Sox are the world champions.
that there would be a time in my life in this town where Kurt Schilling wasn't among the top 2 or 3 most beloved people in the city, I would have said you're full of shit.
You've been full of crap since Belichick has been the coach of this team.
But then he said vote Bush, and then he, whatever, with the studios in Rhode Island. And right now, people in Boston just don't care. I mean, there's not that emotional connection to it. People here think he's a great player. They respect him for what he did on the field.
Sure.
But people aren't ready to stand up and be like, this man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as much as they would be for
when
other
he's
athletes.
in studio, there are times we get calls and people that are gushing over him and, can't believe, Kurt, I'll buy you a beer anytime I see you out. So he's got his support, but it is in the background. It feels like a faint, distant memory. Not quite the connection that I have with Mark Madden in Pittsburgh, of course, which came up on the show today at 7 o'clock.
You got a little bit of a beating today over this.
And we're going to make Kenneth Charles Laird very uncomfortable because Laird is a friend of Mark Madden.
Ken's a puss. I am down on him,
From
too.
Pittsburgh, and he wants us to go easy on him.
Begging
even though
us
Mark,
on-
even though
texting
Mark
us.
Madden is a psycho.
A little bit. I thought it could have been worse, actually. I thought I was preparing for the worst. I was preparing for the cold shoulder. Give me your analysis of this situation. Did I mishandle it?
Well, you can't tell information to Kirk that you don't want disseminated to the world. So that was your mistake.
And you know what? I made mistakes. I drank too much. I smoked some crack sometime.
Yeah, and for people who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, we were trying to get Mark Madden on the show, former colleague of mine in Pittsburgh. He came on the show all the time. You prank called him after a recent...
That was not a prank call.
We got to get to this guy right away. It's a guy from Boston. I can't wait for this. Chris in Boston.
You're on the Mark Madden Show.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, pal?
Terrific. Don't call me pal.
Jeez, taking Madden's sign again. That was when he was not coming on after the Deflategate nonsense, so I pulled a Kirk Minahan before it was cool.
What's up to Kevin in Boston? Kevin, thanks for calling the right time.
Oh, did I say Kevin? This is actually Kirk Minahan from the Kirk and Callahan Show.
But you didn't identify yourself to the call screeners who you were.
No, but that's not I guess that was somewhat of a prank call, so whatever. But yes, that's what I did. I called into his show and asked him formally because he wasn't responding anymore to my request to come on the show, and he did not like it.
I've got connections with Mark, so I reached out to him through direct message on Twitter, which is the best way to connect with Mark. He turned us down for Enough About Me a couple months ago, and I thought maybe he had the big beef with Dino because he seems very upset about John Dennis.
Angry.
And I guess he's upset at you for that call. He's upset at Jerry by association, and he's upset at Kirk.
Kirk and him had a
beef.
back and forth on Twitter a while ago.
Anyway, I thought maybe time had passed. He would be willing to come on. That was not the case. I chose the very easy route of just copying and pasting on a text what he had responded, him declining to come on. Sent that off to Kirk and Jerry. They then wanted me to put that on the Twitter account, the K&C Twitter account, which I actually thought Madden would be okay with. So I asked him, and he said, no, these are private conversations. Now I'm fucked.
Uh-oh.
Because I do have some morals. I felt this way after we fucked Tangway the first time. Remember, he was booked for a week, and we came in and we said, sorry, Tangway, you're out. We're putting Bradford and Curran in for a couple days.
You asked me to commit to those dates.
I hate when I go against my word.
That your word is your bond.
And that felt like this. Like I'm approaching a guy who is a friend. There's an inherent trust there, right? And so anything that he says to me there probably should be off the record. If it was somebody I didn't know on direct message, maybe I would post it. So I felt bad about this. And then, of course, I had to tell Kirk and Jerry, hey, I feel uncomfortable posting this. From their point of view, it feels like I'm backing out on the show.
Shut up. One thing I'd say about Sausage, our old producer, loyal to us. Like, he would take our side over some guy from Pittsburgh.
True.
Wouldn't he?
Yes, he would.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. You just simply can't divulge information to Kirk and or Jerry without
I fucked
expecting.
up. I should not have forwarded Mark Madden's private message to me verbatim to Kirk and Jerry.
Right. But, I mean, listen.
In the end, Mark basically tweeted everything
Right.
that
I
was in there
figured
anyway.
if we tweeted at him that he declined to join us, he would respond publicly similarly as he did to you privately, which is what ended up happening. So he sent out the tweet saying that Dino's liver is failing.
I'll tell you what. The answer? Vodka. That's what happened.
And that that mini jerk or whatever else, clever one-liners that he had.
And then the guy whose name is not even on the show, the intern who gets the boys' coffee, he's making fun of me?
Yeah. But it's not about Mark Madden specifically. It's just in the future, if you and I have let's say I move on or you move on to another job, or Kirk does, and I'm corresponding with you guys on private message, you would want, I think, to know that I wouldn't take whatever you say and use it against you and make you look bad in some kind of public forum. It's a sandbag move. It's a
in
bullshit
all honesty,
artist
I
move.
view this industry as everything I say to anybody is going to be used against me down the line. I sent Lucy an email with my experience. I was just trying to help her out.
That's true. She used that.
And that was on the radio.
So this is what Curtis said.
I knew
and Lucy did the same with Dino's personal message.
I knew once I sent that to Lucy that was very likely going to be on the radio.
But you didn't have a friendship built, really, before that had happened.
Right, but there was no reason for me to believe that she would, outside of it being this business, that she would take that and run with that on the radio. It didn't bother me. I actually said it on Twitter. I said that was accurate. I didn't know she was going to go on the air with it, and it was no big deal. But I just assumed that everything I send is going to be public at some point.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a tough 24 hours for me.
Kirk, normally if we were mocking a radio guy, Ken would be so quick with the sound.
I know. He's
the rants.
Ken, you're with us now. You're not with Mark Madden.
So we did a segment on it. According to Madden, we did the whole show on it.
But this is Madden. But this is a sign that I've told you is they like and respect you, because there are a lot of other producers, some whose names rhyme with Chris Curtis, that had they done this, it would have been a little bit more difficult on the radio. But they are fans of Ken Laird, and that was they showed you the proper respect today.
Are you a little peeved at that? Did I
kind
of wish they would have grilled me a little harder?
Every morning I know where I stand with Jerry and Kirk.
Do you see what that is right there?
No.
Do you see what that is right there?
I know what it is, Kirk.
It's a door. There's another one.
Thanks.
Another one.
And then do you go downstairs? And then you
well,
walk.
you don't. You get
and then you get help.
You
and
get
then
help.
pushed
Yes.
across the
You get
street.
your little private parking spot.
Yeah, there
now.
you go.
We had a projectile thrown today on the program.
Oh, this pissed me off. There is a soundbite somewhere in Sausage's universe.
What, that I have nothing to live for besides this job?
Of Jerry throwing a cup off of Kirk's head, and it made this most perfect sound of a cup hitting a bald head. And we saved it, and we used it, and it was like, and it's gone. I have no clue where it is.
Just text Sausage and
I
ask
don't
him where
want
it
to
is.
text Sausage.
You and Sausage have I didn't know you guys had a...
No, we're fine. I don't know. He got all pissy with Kyle because Kyle tweeted out the photo of him like with the bald head and shaved.
Yeah, he
with the
blocked
hairy-
Kyle.
And he blocked Kyle.
Did he block you?
I haven't checked.
Sausage and I worked together for 1 week. It was a great week. Take it back. He was very upset. He was at the end of his rope. Sausage was barely hanging on.
Happy-go-lucky?
He was so pissed at Dino. Good God. He wanted to strangle Dino.
What was his biggest beef with Dino?
I don't know. It must have been the buildup of over the years, I guess. But,
Well, this is the anger that I feel.
anyway, the projectile that was thrown.
Oh, sorry.
Your whole life is dealt in cinematic. Come on down. Cinematic issues. All you deal with is in cinematic stuff. That's it. The
Why
reality,
are you throwing stuff
the
at
reality
me,
is,
you
would you throw a
psycho?
highlighter?
Led to good banter. It also led to something that had to be scrubbed from the record.
Honestly, God.
It was a good line.
It was a good line, and we're just minding our own business, and then boom, management comes in.
We have a neutral observer over
It was
here.
a tuck. Oh, yeah, it was a tuck rule.
And we're looking at each other because I didn't think anything of it at the time. Maybe that's it shows that I'm a moron.
I didn't either. Well, it was a notable line in passing, but it was just
Meter was gallon this stuff. from
the one thing back to Meter and the good rapport with the guys. They can just kind of bullshit, and they'll say things that probably push the envelope that I'm having a good time listening. So it's not an instinct of mine to
right. No, and honestly, they gave you shit with Billy in Manchester. I think Billy mentioned it, or it was another call. Yeah, I think it was Billy who repeated what Kirk said about the.
Yeah, somebody dropped a man butter, and then I dumped the guy. Decided to dump him.
That was smart on your part.
Not much respect. Smart. This has been a grinder of a week for me. I was okay today as far as the drops.
The start of the show was great today. You played a couple quick drops out of the chute.
Well, it was Meter. Meter's 72-degree temperature.
But
that was your idea, wasn't it? No, maybe
that
not.
wasn't my idea.
You had some good idea today.
Thank you. No, no. Whenever if you're in your car and you hear like a thud, that's Jerry banging the desk in front of him, laughing his ass off. And he had a couple of those when Jerry, the money line is Meter giving the attendance of 15,000 in the 70,000 seat
indoors, 72 degrees, very comfortable inside the home of the Detroit Lions.
I feel like Kirk has a very similar view of Meter and you in that he can't get angry. Like today, there were a couple times where Meter sort of jumped in, didn't have much to say, was quiet. And if that's mutt,
right, true,
he's going to get shit on by Jerry and Kirk.
8:40, must go to break.
I'm not going to a break.
Must shower and wear polo shirt before show.
By the very same performance.
It is a double standard.
But because it's Meter and he's the old guard or whatever, he gets treated with kid gloves at times.
I also noticed, I don't know if it was just because Meter was in, we divert to sporty talk. Jerry and Meter. It's almost a shadow of the old days when they had to talk sports, whether it was demanded by management or just it was more of a sporty show at times. I don't know, but like we had a lot of Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers breakdown talk today. NFL draft talk at one point before finally
Clemson wide receiver.
First round, Mike Williams, Clemson, wideout.
When do they ever take superstar wideouts?
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Meter,
all right,
for what?
We'll preview the draft
so
later
dumb.
when people care.
Yeah,
Fourier loves it when they get back to sports. He even bought pizza for us. He was so happy.
We're going to get to sports.
It's sort of the anti-Reamer, right? When Meter's in, they pivot to sports. When Reamer's in, they pivot to gay and politics.
Right. Yeah, so I think Kirk likes him, but he can only take so much, and so once in a while is good. Every once in a while, Meter will show up, and it's a good time. And it's not.
And it's not going to be for a while because he's got one basketball game to call a week, and he's his 32-year-old kids need to get on the bus for school. So we'll see him again. I told him Memorial Day when he left. He didn't seem very happy with that, but we'll see him in a couple weeks.
Anything else from today? I feel like we've been here for 5 hours.
Yeah, I say
this is going to be a short podcast, but that's fine.
Short podcast today. A quick heads up for tomorrow. I don't even know what we said to start, so I'll say it here. Volan is now 7-9.
Okay.
And one of our advanced F-WAR metric that we looked up today, the audience loves the Belichick conversation that we do.
Yes.
So at 9:15 tomorrow, we'll have a little bit more of that with Mutt and Kirk.
Perry Belichick live at 9:15. We have AFC Championship game tickets to give away. I was supposed to remind Kirk of that today. I failed.
But we got it in at the end of the show.
We did get it in once.
And so we'll do that tomorrow in the 8 o'clock hour. And Volan will be in. Kirk has some beef he wants to settle with Ben. And,
Volan was in with Villani over the holidays and admitted that he didn't like the show that he was filling in for. Said it was not very good.
While being compensated.
Yeah, I thought that was rude, classless. Yeah. I'm surprised Volan's coming on tomorrow, but perhaps to do a Tomasi. Will he be?
I don't think we're going to get a Tomasi. I think it might be a little combustible. It'll be good.
Okay. See you tomorrow at 5:30 when we start the program.
Have a good afternoon, my friend.
See you, bud.